Hello, thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to be recording a few demos for a new project that I'm working on. So I thought I would show you a little bit about how I record songs here at home. I have shown you before how I record videos, but today I thought I would show you how I record the audio for those videos, and maybe you might get a little sneak peek at some new music that I've been working on. If you are new here and you've never come across my videos before, then hello, my name is Lisa. I'm a musician from Northern Ireland and I post new videos every Friday. So before I start recording, I will show you some of the equipment that I have that I use for recording. So this is the room that I record in. It used to be a spare room with a bed in it and everything, but we decided to take the bed out and dedicate it to a music space. It is still my dressing room, so it does get quite messy, and of course it's not sound treated or it's not perfect or anything like that, but this is the space I use. So if any of you are interested in recording music at home, then I will talk you through the equipment that I use to record music. So the first thing you will need, of course, is something to record into. So I have just a MacBook Air, I think it is. It's not the best laptop in the world, but it does the job. And then you will need, of course, some instruments. So I have a Casio Privia. I think it is the PX1000. Can't remember now off the top of my head. Again, not the best keyboard in the world, but it does the job. So that's what I use. And then you need of course, a cat. Cat's very important. And a mic. I just use the Rode NT1A. That captures my voice pretty well. I also have I borrow a dynamic mic as well, but the condenser mic is better. It suits my voice a lot better. And then you need something to put all that into the laptop with. So I use the Focusrite Scarlett 212, I think it is. So it just has a little input for my mic and an input for the keyboard, although a lot of the times I will record the MIDI straight into it using just the wire, and I don't use that to record. I'll show you later, but I just plug the keyboard usually directly into the laptop, and a pair of headphones so that I can hear everything that I'm recording. And that's pretty much it. It's not the fanciest setup in the world, but it's done me pretty well so far. So the first thing I record is the piano track. That is just something really simple, just chords that I can record the vocals over, and it just helps keep me in tune, helps keep me in time and that thing like that. So I've got my Logic Pro opened up, which is the DAW that I use. It's the one that I find it the easiest one to use. So I have that ready, and I have it as a MIDI, so I have the keyboard just directly plugged in. I'm not using Focusrite for this, I'm just recording the MIDI files that come from the keyboard. So yeah, I'm just going to record just some basic chords that I will then sing over, and I will just use that, like I say, to keep me in time and to keep me in tune. So this track doesn't have to be perfect because it will be eventually deleted and re-recorded. So now that I have the basic piano track recorded, that gives me something to then sing over, because it's very hard to sing with just nothing, and then I really build the track around the voice rather than anything else. So I'm going to record the vocals now. I did write the song, but I of course find it harder to memorize my own lyrics, so I am going to be reading the words as I sing it. And the pillows are for a little bit of sound treatment. They're just going to help absorb some of the sound from bouncing back off the walls. Of course it's not perfect, but I actually think the sound in here isn't too bad. So yeah, I'm gonna get started and record the vocals. Meeny, 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 me. Sing, ah, sing, ah. I'm the voice of the island. I've been waiting here for 1,000 years. I've been hiding around here. I know what will come and what's before. My soul unbroken. Hear my voice. Hear my voice. My will be spoken. So this is what I've got so far. I've got 3 tracks, the piano, the vocal, and then I've just added a little synth strings track just to start to fill it out a little bit. So this is what it sounds like so far. So that's just the very basic beginnings of the track. So now I'm going to start to fill out the piano track a little bit more and make the piano a bit more interesting. That I have re-recorded the piano track and I'm happy with the arrangement, happy with all it sounds, I'm now going to re-record the vocals, because the first time I recorded it was just kind of to get the bare bones of the track, and it makes everything easier to build up from there. But I'm going to go back and fix all the mistakes that I made and get it to fit with the music all a little bit better. I'm the voice of the island. I've been waiting here for 1,000 years. The ruins of centuries past, I sleep in their foundations. The rain on my beating heart gives life to all creation. My will be spoken. My will be spoken. And now it's time to add some backing vocals. I do like to do a lot of voice layering, so this part can usually take me quite a while because I literally have to record every single verse maybe 20 times to get the effect that I want, so it does take a long time, this part. My will be spoken. I know what will come and what's before. My soul unbroken. Hear my voice. Hear my voice. My will be spoken. I will be spoken. My will be spoken. I know what will come and what's before. My will be spoken. My will be spoken. My will be spoken. My will be spoken. So I only did 9 takes there of the backing vocals because I actually think I'm happy with how it sounds so far. So I'll just give you a little preview of how that all sounds all together. My will be spoken. I know what will come and what's before. My soul unbroken. Hear my voice. Hear my voice. And now that I have everything recorded. I'm happy with how everything sounds. I'm happy with the arrangement so far. I'm going to go in and do a little bit of fine tuning, a little bit of mixing, making sure that everything, all the instruments and everything are balanced correctly. Nothing's too loud, because at the minute everything's kind of at the same volume and everything's a bit too loud. So I'm going to go in and adjust the volumes, add some effects and things like that. So I'm going to switch to sharing my screen so that you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the track so far. It's not finished and it's certainly not perfect, but this is sort of the stage where I would start to go in and edit the sounds a bit, because I find it really hard to go past this point until I kind of hear how everything sounds right together. And then I can start to add in if I need any more vocals, if I need any more other effects and things like that. So I'm going to start with the piano. That's usually where I start. The piano, I solo it, so it's the only thing that I hear. And then I start to play. So the first thing is actually I need those notes at the very beginning to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to double click on them. There we go. I just need these notes. I'll bring them right to the beginning and hopefully that should have fixed it. Perfect. Great. So I'm going to continue playing it and have a listen to the sound, and then I'm going to go in and edit the sound. I'm actually pretty happy with how it sounds. I'm just going to, and I'm no music producer, so I'm sure the majority of things I'm doing are wrong, but this is just what I do at the moment. So I'm just going to get rid of the very, very top frequencies, because otherwise I find it tends to like be too buzzy up that end. And I'm just going to make the lower end a little bit stronger, I guess, just to make it a little bit warmer. Okay, then I'm going to add a little bit of reverb, but not a whole lot. It already kind of has a reverb on it anyway, so I like this. This is the one I always use, which is the vocal hall. I kind of use it on everything. I just like the way it sounds, but I do play around with some of the options on it just to get what I'm kind of going for. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Just gives it a little bit more fullness to it, I guess, kind of makes the sound a little bit more interesting. And the last thing that I add to the piano is, and I kind of do the same thing with every track, I'm not a music producer, so this is just what I do, it's just what I find works for me, and I'm always constantly changing things. And if you have any tips for me or anything like that, then of course please do let me know, because this is literally what I'm here for. It's literally why I started this YouTube channel, was so that I could learn all this stuff. The last thing I do on this piano track is add a sub bass, and I find it just lifts the bottom end a little bit. We'll see what that does. Yeah, I think that's great. And I'm maybe going to turn the volume down a little tiny bit, because I want the vocals to be most present. And I don't like to turn them way up, because then you can hear all the other things the mic is picked up. So I try and keep the vocals at the same level that they are at, and turn everything else down accordingly. So the next thing I'm going to edit is the main vocals, which is this track here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to solo it, I'm going to listen to it, and then I'm going to go in and fix anything I think needs fixed. I'm the voice of the island. I've been waiting here for 1,000 years. So I'm going to start with the EQ, as I always do. I usually like this setting here, the soften background vocals. I think it's that one I like. Listen close as the earth speaks. yeah, I just like how that changes the voice. Secrets in the breeze, hear the stories forgotten. I'm gonna add reverb again. The ruins of centuries past. I sleep I'm gonna go to the vocal hall. The rain of my beating heart gives life to all creation. My will be. But I think it's a bit too much, so I'm gonna turn the length of the reverb down a little bit. And I always up how much dry and lower the wet. We'll see how that sounds. Spoken, I know what will come and what's before. I'm happy with that. I'm also going to the exciter and add silver. My soul unbroken, hear my voice, hear my voice. Great. And a compressor on that as well. And we'll add a vocal preset on that. I will make you soar across field and forest. Yep, I'm happy with how that sounds. So next would be the backing vocals. I actually already have edited the backing vocals and added reverb and stuff already, because I find that much easier to do that on the first track, because there's so many of them. I have 9 of them here, that if I was to do it after, I then have to apply every single setting to all 9 tracks, and sometimes there is more than 9 and it takes me a long time. Whereas I find if I just do it to the first track after I've recorded it, and then before I record the second track, I just go to new track with duplicate settings and it applies that to everything. I'm sure there is a way you can do it after you've recorded it, but I haven't worked that one out yet. So that's what I do now. I just record the first backing vocal, so literally just this one track here, and then before I record the second track, I just hit duplicate settings and then it applies all of the reverb and everything to it, so you can hear it already has reverb. I've already done the EQ on it and an exciter as well. And I'm just going to leave that as it is, and then we'll hear how that all sounds together. Yeah, that's it. I think it goes a little bit too, it goes suddenly from like solo voice to like loads of voices. So this is why I say I think it's good to not have the track fully finished before I start editing it, because then I find it easier to pick up on things like that. So I can go back in again later and re-record, add some more backing vocals in before the chorus, because otherwise I think it's a little bit too suddenly not there and suddenly there. It's very loud. So I will add in some vocals there. The last thing I haven't edited is the strings. You can't always hear it, like if I play it in the middle of the track, you can't hear it at all. Listen close. Because it's another MIDI file, and it only plays it from the very, very beginning because it's just one big long note the whole way through. It's like a drone kind of effect thing that I wanted to go for there. So I have to go back right to the very beginning, and I'll play it for you so you can hear what it sounds like on its own. So that's it. It's literally just one note in 3 octaves just being held for the entire song. I kind of want this to sound really like just ethereal and like in the background. So I'm going to apply a lot of reverb onto this, and I'm going to try turning the dry way down and the wet way up and see how that works. It's not a big change to it, but does just help sort of soften it a little bit. Okay, so I'm happy with how that all sounds so far. So here's what it all sounds together. So now I'm just going to adjust the volumes of everything, so I definitely think these strings are too loud. I just want them sort of barely there. I think that might be okay. And in fact, I will do a fade in. I'll try that. I'm going to turn the piano down. I'm going to pan the piano to the right and the voice to the left. That just helps the sounds come through a little bit more. If everything's sort of right in the middle, then it's all a bit much, but whenever you just pan things left and right, then it's a little bit easier for our ears to pick up on things like that. I'll not go into the theory about that. And then what I usually do with the vocals, the backing vocals, I pan those quite hard one way and the other, because I like to get the effect that they're like, if you're listening to it with earphones on, that the vocals are kind of coming from like everywhere. And I think all the vocals are, the backing vocals are all a little bit loud, so I'm going to turn them all down quite a bit. Let's try around 10 or 11. Let's try that. That's much better. I still think they're a tiny bit loud. I can go back and fix that. So then at this point, if there's any extra bits I want to add in, like any more vocals and stuff, I would record that now. Like I say, whenever I'm editing it, that's whenever sort of more ideas will come to me, and things like that. Other things I will edit is I will actually go in and edit out things like a breath. Sometimes I'm really good at getting the breath very quietly, so you don't need to hear it, which makes it much easier for editing, which is why I try and take my breath as quiet as possible. But let me see if I can find any here. Yeah, so you can hear that breath there. I highlight the one little section where the breath is, right here. Here, and I just pull the volume down a bit. Let's hear how that sounds. Yeah, much better. Can't hear the as much anymore. That's maybe a bit harsh that time, but that's just an example. Once everything's edited and I've added in all the extra bits that I want to, I go back and listen to my song all the way through quite a few times. Like that, I'll play it all the way through, maybe like 4 or 5 times. I'll try it listening on headphones, I'll try listening to it on different speakers as much as possible, because that really gives me a good idea of like how it sounds. It's one thing missing from my studio at the minute is a decent set of speakers. That is what my next purchase will be, but that's how I kind of hear how it sounds as much as possible. And the reason why I listen to it so many times is that I just really want to be able to pick up on any little things like that, any little breaths or little faults here and there that I may have missed. Once I'm totally happy with everything, that's whenever I just go ahead and bounce the track. So that's whenever you turn it into like an MP3 file, like that, MP3, or for this purpose I need it to be a WAV file actually, and so that's how I finish the project and have it as an actual MP3 ready to add a video to. I'm really excited to share with you the finished product. Let me know if you would like to hear the full version of it. It's not finished yet, so let me know if you like what you hear so far, or if you have any ideas for it that you think I could add in, then let me know in the comments. Thanks as always to my Ko-fi supporters. Without them I couldn't do half of this. If you're not sure what Ko-fi is, it is a site where you can support your favourite artists. You can just make a one-off donation, or I also do have membership options available as well, and of course you get lots of perks from being a Ko-fi supporter, like having your name at the end of the credits of this video, or being able to receive all the MP3s of things that I record, and lots of other things like that, exclusive content behind the scenes and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, I will leave a link to that in the description box below. And yeah, can't wait for you all to hear the project that I'm working on. But for now, I will see you next week.